This is the JP News, now in HD.
Tonight's feature, Chuck Schumer at Union College. Things like this always make for interesting filming. We are inside the Union College cafeteria known as the Dutch Hollow. The Dutch Hollow. Why am I forgetting your name? Dave?
Me? Sean.
Sean Pinella. I mean, why am I calling you Dave? Okay.
I know
so many Sean's and Daves. Has just gotten a tray of sushi from
this is really good sushi. They make it here.
From
Look.
the Union College
Right
cafeteria called the, what is it called? The Dutch Hollow.
Yeah.
Now, what did they charge you for that sushi, Dave? I mean, Sean.
Bill. Pete, how much was it, Chris? I don't know. Probably like your average, probably $6, $7 probably.
Oh, okay.
But they make it right over there, I guess. I come here. They got a really good all-you-can-eat place here. Yeah.
So, Chris, is the food here at the Dutch Hollow at Union College pretty good?
Yeah, it is pretty good. Yeah.
Is there a particular item of food that you think they do a good job on in here?
Pretty much everything. I like the burgers.
Oh, burgers. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's burgers, fries, maybe subs.
Yeah.
Subs. Soup.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cafeteria. Good evening. This is the Jess Petrequin Camcorder News, and we are here in front of Union College in Schenectady. And tonight there is a debate with Senator Chuck Schumer in the not building in the college.
Yeah.
And Sean, who all have we got with us here, and what is the message tonight?
Oh, what the message is we got to get up and vote.
Yeah.
We got to do some changes around here.
Definitely.
And guess what? Tonight on this station, we got somebody that you need to know who has a lot of ideas, a lot of great ideas. And we're about to expose that right now. I introduce to you.
Hello, my name is Alex Merced, and I'm the 2016 Libertarian Party candidate for U.S. Senate. And all I'm asking is that you take a moment and check out my website, Alex Merced for NY, and give me the opportunity, just the opportunity, to earn your vote. Basically, I'm standing out here outside of Union College because I was not invited to the debate with Chuck Schumer and Wendy Long. Why? Because they don't want competition. And the thing is that if we want politicians to stop acting like politicians, there needs to be competition within elections. Because if you are a politician, you are an elected representative, and you know that you can't lose. You know you're always going to win. What need is there for you to represent people? What need is it there if you know there's no votes that you have to earn? So if the process is not competitive, you're just going to get corruption, and that's basically what we have. Basically, we live in a world where basically corruption is the plate du jour. But I'm trying to change that. I'm trying to change the culture of politics. As a Libertarian Party candidate, I am all about choice. I'm all about giving people control over their lives and also trying to improve many of the problems that people have concerned about, primarily the economy. So we've put out proposals regarding reforming the tax system, regarding creating new corporate structures that allow businesses to operate with a lower tax burden, regarding giving people a better ability to save through something I like to call a rainy day account. And you can read about all these proposals over there at alexmercedforny.com. But regardless of all that, having a senator who is not a Democrat, who is not a Republican, will hold the system accountable, because I have no loyalty to either party. So as a U.S. Senator, I can call out the Republicans when they need to be called out. I can call out the Democrats when they need to be called out. When people propose ideas that are violating the U.S. Constitution, that are abridging your rights, I can be there to say no. But when the two parties can't get along on legislation that needs to be passed to protect your rights, I can bring them together at the table. I can change the culture of what's going on in Washington if people just decide to change the culture of voting and vote differently and vote for Alex Merced in 2016.
Okay, so now Alex, you were just saying at the beginning of your speech here that you were not allowed in the not building.
Correct.
And why was that? What did they do? Did you need a ticket to get in?
Well, you need to be invited or be on the list to get in. So we went to the building and just saw if we were on the list by chance. Maybe, well, they didn't invite us to debate. Maybe they at least let us be in the audience.
Yeah, right.
But we weren't on the list. Then I asked them, is it okay if you tell the people from Time Warner that I'm here in case they wanted to do an interview with me before or after the debate? You know, That's fine. I understand. It's their event. But no one would want to put us in communication with them. So we decided to do the next best thing. We went outside of the Knott building and decided to hand out flyers. Hand out these flyers right here. I decided to hold up a sign that looks just like this sign right here. Just to at least, if people are walking in, at least they can at least see me. Give some exposure so that way they know there's other options.
No.
But instead they decided to remove us physically from campus. My campaign manager was physically removed from campus.
Oh, wow. Do you have footage of that?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Interesting.
Now, who are the rest of these gentlemen, and what are their connection to you? And
well, Brian Waddell here is my campaign manager.
Hi, how are you?
Hello, Brian.
Hi.
Jess Petrequin. And you were with Alex when
yes.
when you guys were physically removed from
Yes.
the Knott building?
Well, I was one who was luckily physically removed. Nobody touched Alex. He started filming as they removed me from campus. The one campus officer came up to me and said, you know, you need to leave campus now. And I put my hands up in the air and asked him why I needed to leave campus. And he said, because I said so, as he grabbed me and started pushing me backwards.
Did he say you had to leave the campus, or did he say you just couldn't go in the Knott building?
Nope, he had said I had to leave the campus. So he grabbed me and started pushing me backwards. As he said, because I said so is the reason that you can't be here. And so he proceeded to push me the entire way back as I walked backwards, because when somebody's pushing you, you don't turn around and start walking forward, because then you're gonna fall on your face.
Yeah, right.
I can't imagine anybody would start walking forward when you're being pushed continuously.
And you were the cameraman at that point?
Alex was doing some camera work at that point, just to film me getting pushed out of the place. And then the biggest problem becomes that, I mean, I understand it's a private institution. They can't control who comes on their campus. I wasn't given a reason why they were removing me, but then at the end, once he got me outside of that little area over there, he did push me again on public property. So we did file a police report, and so we'll be looking at that and seeing what we want to do with that later in the week.
Did the police show up?
Yes, yeah. So actually, there was right afterwards there was an officer that drove by and very nicely came over and said hello and wrote up a report. So the campus officer in question will get looked at. So that's the good news. You know, it was a ridiculous response by him.
After the incident, a representative from the university came and overall it ended on a good note. We ended on a good note.
Yeah.
But it was just systematic to the idea of allowing people to listen to their other options. So while again, I totally understand that it's his private property, it could have been handled differently. But at the end of the day, when you only have 2 candidates out there, and you go out of your way to not let, and there's only 4 candidates in this race. We've had gubernatorial debates that have had 10 people on stage. Why can't they let 2 more people on stage in a debate that has 2 people only? If Jimmy McMillan can debate Andrew Cuomo, why can't I debate Chuck Schumer?
Were there still plenty of seats left?
There was plenty of seats. The place looked empty still when we left.
That's you know, that's a point. You know, the thing is thank God we have social media, and you're on Facebook, you're on all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, share, and share it, because we need correct politics, not direct politics. We need availability, not conformity. We need people with facts, not fiction, and only reading headliners when they don't have their research.
Exactly.
That's what we need.
Because all I'm asking is just for the opportunity for people to hear what I have to say.
Okay, this is another side of the story. This is the JP News again. Once again, we are at Union College. And with us tonight is Chris Diani
Yes.
and Sean Piniella. Chris wants to talk about the issues with Hillary Clinton and her email investigation. Go ahead, Chris.
You can see it in his eyes, like he's right on low now.
Yeah, Hillary just, in my eyes, and I don't want to use this word too loosely, she's just a criminal. I mean, she lies, she cheats, she's gotten away with way too much. I don't believe in anything she says. I don't believe her as a person either. I don't want to bash her. I'm not just saying stuff out of nonsense. I've really been doing research on this, and as far as the emails and stuff, it's ridiculous, and that just shows how corrupt the debates and everything are. Because like watching them together with Trump and Hillary, it was almost like watching, it was so amusing, it was like watching two kids fight over candy. And I mean that in a way is that Trump has his ideas, which some of them are very far-fetched. I don't believe in, but I do believe in that he is a good businessman, number one, and he knows how to make money. I believe he could bring money back into, you know, our government and stuff. But as far as Hillary, I really do not like her. I have not met anybody that has anything really well to say about her. My family, as far as I know, I can't speak for them, but just, I don't know what.
You know, the thing is, there's a difference between, you know, we know who's going to be for president. It's obvious.
It's obvious.
But what a reality show.
I'm still not certain of that. I'm still.
You know, like
it's so bizarre.
Yes, I mean, we learned about their inside sex life, all their everything that everybody else does, and
in everyday life, and they attack it.
How does it help us? How does it make our future better? That's what I care about. An employer doesn't or shouldn't find out your background. It's what you can do for your company. And us taxpayers, we're the company, and we're hiring one of these two people. We obviously, you know, there's pluses and minuses to both of them, but we had 30 years of the other ones. Why can't we hire somebody new? Yeah. You know, and they say that like Trump's part of Clinton's foundation and donated money. All I can say is stay tuned. You know, we got. If there's anybody else that wants to chime in about the election, they can. If not, we're on camera here. But everybody seems to not even want to
touch this subject.
You know, except us.
Yeah.
You know?
I just
maybe if we were 60 Minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah, Trump. I mean, yeah, some of his ideas.
Well, no. Then you would need a script, and you would have to read stuff, and you couldn't say how you felt. So I'm happy here.
And he just, you know, and another thing, like I was telling you earlier, how he writes as he speaks. Yes, he writes to remember things, and in a way, I kind of respect that because that's actually a good technique, you know.
Well, I'm glad you pointed that out to me. I didn't really, you know, I noticed his interesting hand signals while he talks. And I have friends that talk like that. I sometimes talk like that.
I do too.
But I don't, you know. But I don't know if I never really thought of it as writing in the air. I kind of like that.
Yeah. Well, it's it's Main Street versus Wall Street. That's what it is.
It's like he's ready to sign certain things into bill.
Yep.
Into Congress,
as he's talking, he goes through it, and it helps him remember. I do the same thing in some cases. You know, that's the same like that.
Well, someone said something about him a while back to me that made sense to me, was that he is, you know, got a different kind of personality, but if you can get past that, is kind of a good choice.
And
he's somebody that he's got a crazy personality maybe, but he's not somebody you would ever want to bet against.
Yeah, and also he's not a politician like that. You know, he's doing it because he wants to do it. He wants to make America better.
Yeah. We developed a very sensitive, nice tone of voice society instead of listen to the words of English, not the grandmother, not my daughter this, my family that, and if I'm gonna bomb Iraq, or I'm gonna bomb Iraq, it's still the same words that they're dictating, or whatever their political
approach is. It's just the way they say it.
But people are like, holy cow, he's a threat, he's pointing, he has an authoritative voice. People are nervous about that. But you have Hillary saying the same thing, and it's wow, she reminds me of such a family orientated with the picket white fence and
some think that she can play the woman card.
Right.
Yeah, and
it's
in a
not
way,
sexist. It's the truth.
And
like I said, if anybody wants to chime in that keeps walking by here about politics, come in. But we need somebody that's directive, somebody that has that authoritative approach. And sometimes soft voices don't work.
And like I said, he's made billions of dollars.
I don't know what I'm talking about, of course.
No, but really, he's made billions of dollars. If you really look at his legacy since he was a teenager, he did get a loan to start his businesses and stuff from his father, but look at what he did with it. You know, if he could go from that to where he is now, imagine what he could do for this country. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying, he may be, like you said, he may be out there a little bit. He may be the wild card. He may not be as politically correct as everybody else, but he is a businessman first and foremost, and he seems to really care about what he's saying. even though some of the stuff he says may sound a little crazy, it's the truth. And sometimes the truth is crazy.
You know what? But when you could stop wearing that uniform and you could stop being in front of somebody's clique or not offend somebody, he is the voice of every conformative type of person from all walks of life. All that, ooh, wow, he said what? Believe me, we go through our daily life thinking about those things in our head, and I'm glad everything was exposed. It brought a modern approach to politics, a modern approach to our past, a modern approach to what we need to expect and change in the future. It brought people's perspective on what they should do and how they should act and what real issues we need to fix and what needs to be thrown away. And that's what Trump brought out. That's what Clinton brought out. You know, that's what we discovered in this election.
I got a question for both you gentlemen, you know, pertaining to Trump and what his presidency is. You know, Obama came up with the Obamacare, and you know, the way I saw it, more and more Americans ended up on Medicare, and some people ended up kind of getting a free meal ticket out of it and gotten a good deal out of it because they were in a bind. They, you know, and it worked out well for them. Other people are complaining that they, you know, had to change their doctors. What do you think Trump's version of medical care is going to be? Do you think it's going to be better, worse? Do you think it's going to be?
I honestly think it'll probably be better because of the fact that, like I said earlier, he knows how not to keep bringing up the business part of him, but first and foremost, he's a businessman. Like he will know what to do, the steps to take to make the money to get people better health.
But also in a recent, on another subject, in a recent debate, Trump had. Now, I don't know whether Trump has got his facts right or not. He had said that Medicare is going to run out by the 2020s and Social Security is going to run out by the 2030s.
In office.
That's going to happen.
Yeah. The point is, let's stop that clock and make it.
Because I got my 85-year-old parents that have told me that they even heard 70 years ago that Social Security was going to run out, and it didn't. I guess nobody's got a crystal ball on it.
I mean, nobody can tell the future, and all we can do is work on now.
And now they're coming out with many creative ways in the work industry and in healthcare to, unfortunately, whether it's not the right doctors or whatever, I hate to sound morbid, but they're finding very creative things, and these insurance companies know the end may be coming, so they come up with ways to make the customer pay anyway, so there's really no difference, you know?
And
I just gotta welfare healthcare, you know, it's whatever label that you want, you know?
I just gotta say about the whole Obamacare thing is that once that started, my co-pays went up, all my meds that I get went up in price. I know as far as the kids getting the health care, that was a good thing. I mean, that was a good positive part about it. But as far as like the middle class, you know, working average person, they kind of get screwed out of it. Well, the richer people get the better end of the deal, you know.
Well, without revealing too much personal stuff about me, I didn't have a choice. My health insurance quit. They dropped me. They didn't. They were, you know, that was it. I was. They were going to be through with it, and I was actually forced to go on the Obamacare.
Wow.
And I sat down with a navigator, and I'm like, well, okay, this seems too good to be true, and I'm just waiting for reality to hit where, you know, I've gotten this. I've not got almost free meal ticket. I don't want to, you know, I don't want to say what I'm paying or anything on camera, but you know, it seems too good to be true. You know, will it end out? Will I someday be told, okay, Medicaid is really a loan and you have to pay it back? You know, so. Well,
it's on a person-to-person basis. I remember, you know, there was a time in my life where I made $1 too much for welfare, but made $1 less for Fidelis. And I had to get, you know, whatever other name brand. It's different with the car insurance. Some people pay more for your health and some people pay less for your health. I don't really think it has anything to do with removal of healthcare service in general. It's how they keep altering and hurting people individually. That's today's issue, you know.
Well, I for one don't mind paying more for health insurance if it involves an administration that keeps the country safer from terrorism and radical Islam.
Yeah.
Or, and then there's a difference between managing your health and taking care of the health, so we don't need health insurance because we're healed.
Yeah.
Have any of you heard anybody talk about how if Hillary gets in, there might be a whole new world order and everybody will be forced to become a Muslim? Is there any truth to that one?
I don't know what the truth to that is. I have heard about it.
I've heard some people say that, but
I also heard
I think
that
they
if
might
Hillary,
just
I also heard that if Hillary gets elected, they're gonna start bombing us. I heard that it's going to go out full out nuclear if Hillary gets elected. I mean, I don't know how much of that is true. I don't know if you've heard about that.
They also said Mayweather's dead and Michael Jordan's dead and the water.
And now they're starting the whole Mandela effect thing. Nelson Mandela.
I would love to see Reverend Al Sharpton move to Canada if Trump gets in.
Oh yeah, a lot of the people that are friendly to move would be great. Our world would be a better place without their
because he's done nothing except start wars. He's done nothing but start wars.
Right, and just been in front of the camera instead of being behind it helping out.
Okay, again, this is the Jess Petrequin Camcorder News, and with us tonight is
Chad Putman, candidate for the 49th New York State Senate District.
How was the debate this evening with Chuck Schumer and who was
Wendy Long?
Wendy Long. Okay, could you comment on how it went?
Well, it sounds like I would put it in the senator's words. He said it was a very lively debate. They covered a variety of topics from healthcare to immigration to campaign financing. They talked about Citizens United and the influence of money in politics. So they covered a variety of topics, and I was fortunate to be able to sit in and to hear both of them discuss those important issues that impact voters every day.
Who do you feel was better for the job?
Well, I think,
or the position, I should say.
Sure, I think Senator Schumer brings so much experience to the position. I think he really showed during the debate his control and knowledge of the topics and issues that are impacting Americans each and every day. So I think that he is certainly the individual that's right for the job today. Especially as we hope to have a senator or a President Clinton in the White House shortly. I think that they would make a very dynamic duo to make sure that they're taking on issues that impact Americans every day. So I think that he would be the best qualified individual for the job for sure.
Okay. Sean and Chris, do you have any questions for John?
I've been reading a lot. You've been very community orientated.
Yes.
A lot of great and new ideas, which I like. What can we look for from you and all the fans at home that support you and all the help you've been getting and the people that believe on you? What do you got next lined up?
Well, I'm hoping to be victorious on November 8th. It would be an incredible honor to win the people's vote and their support to be the representative in the 49th New York State Senate District. So we'll see how that plays out moving forward regardless. Schenectady has won my heart. Schenectady is an incredible community with great bones, and we're really in the process of writing our next great chapter, and I'm excited to be part of the process. Whether it's neighborhood redevelopment from park projects to working with the rising leaders that are coming out of Hamilton Hill, all the folks that are really doing incredible work up there. I can't wait to get to work in Hamilton Hill on Schenectady Street and assisting the folks with the Carver Community Center and the Art Center because there is really important, great projects happening up there. So I look forward to working with all of them on that, and we'll continue to fight the good fight on the state level because these issues are really important. I think there's an opportunity to continue, regardless of what happens on November 8th, addressing student loan debt. I think being somebody who's buried in my own student college loan debt, right? There's some things that we can take on to address the interest rates and the burden of that debt, so that we can remove that, so people have more money, income to improve the economy and take care of your own personal needs. So.
Yeah, we need more mobility in education because people can't get jobs unless they have bachelors and things get dated by the time you graduate. But one good question I want to ask you: what made you say I'm going to put my hat in the ring and do it for the people? Because I know a lot of the things I heard aren't that textbook talk. it's real talk. It's from an observer level, from a witness level, and I could tell that from stuff I saw on social media and things. What made you say, my turn?
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Yeah, and
it's a big step.
It is a
because,
big
you know,
step. Yeah, and having never run for political office before, so it's been a learning curve, and it's been a learning experience.
Learn a lot.
Absolutely, but you know, I feel that we have a really engaged, powerful mayor who's working closely with our city council to address issues that are impacting Schenectadians each and every day. We have a engaged Schenectady County Legislature who's doing great work, keeping the property tax even into 2017.
Casino and all
right,
that.
and with the economic development, about $1 billion of economic development happening in Schenectady County. So there's a lot that the crew in Schenectady County that's been leading the charge here has been doing great work, including our assembly members. Both Assemblymember Santa Barbara and Phil Stack have been right there at the table. And where we've really lacked a representative is in the New York State Senate. You know, the mayor has told me personally.
Different demographics. Yep.
Right. Well, you know, I mean, the mayor has told me personally when he's contacted, you know, Senator Farley, who is retiring, for assistance or to get involved or advocate for a particular issue, the answer's been no, or there's no response. So we need somebody in the Senate that's going to work with our leaders on the local and the county level and at the state assembly to make sure we're taking care of the needs that are impacting folks across the
People
board.
that's not bought, people that can bring new ideas to the table, and obviously you've seen the progress. There's a lot of progress that's going on, and you know, I'm just happy to see the casino there. I'm happy for what the mayor's doing. I'm glad to hear your ideas. It brings you're probably gonna get a lot of new voters voting for you because
My
you know,
son is a big fan of yours.
Oh, wow, I appreciate it.
As well as me. I mean, when you said that, I was like, wow. Because you know, not a lot of people speak, you know, true. You know, they just want they want to say what people want to hear, but that's not you. You say what you feel and what you believe. You know what I mean? And that's what me and my son really. He's 18 now, so he's voting.
Good. Good to hear.
He's a big fan of Angelo Santa Barbara too.
He's my cousin.
Okay.
Well, my cousin's husband.
Right.
Jennifer is my cousin. So
Yeah, I mean, really, my personal experience goes back to being a social worker and being somebody who's benefited from human service organizations. You know, I've been on food stamps and public assistance. I've been in, you know, housing that has been subsidized so that I can get my feet underneath me. And so I've benefited from all of these safety nets that are out there that people need. So it's my turn to say thank you, and I'm ready to go work for the people who are still struggling and for the folks that helped pay those bills so many years ago. But it's an honor and a privilege.
Not to get
all
too
of it.
personal about myself, but what is your ideas on SSI for people with mental disabilities and stuff like that? Like,
well, I think it's more of a federal level issue, but as far as the COLAs have been flat really for year after year. When I was providing case management services for individuals trying to make ends meet on the monthly SSI or SSD check that they're receiving, it's nearly impossible. I talked to folks recently that are involved in some of these affordable housing programs, and I encourage them to really look at solar and different types of renewable energies to assist helping to manage the cost of your utility bills, right? Because I had many people who were living in public housing and different programs like that where, yes, they had an affordable rent, but then they get a utility bill and their utilities were turned off in the middle of the winter.
Yeah, or they raise the rate, the rate on the gas, and that don't help. You lower one and move up the other, like.
Right, people can't get ahead, right? People can't get ahead.
It's like take 10 cents forward, or 5 cents forward, 10 cents back, you know?
It's discouraging for folks, So we got to make sure that all the available resources are there for folks. I think, you know, even in the city of Schenectady, there's a lot of talk about the food desert. You know, people being able to go shopping for good, healthy, local food,
not stale
and not having to go to a Family Dollar to buy, you know, processed sweet food, sugar,
No,
salt,
because there's
all of
not
that
enough
stuff.
supermarkets in some of the inner city areas.
Sure. And
That's been a really big problem. That's been a really big problem since about 7 or 8 years ago when they shut down the Price Chopper in Sheridan Plaza. If you remember that. Many people were very upset about that one, and they still wish a supermarket could take its place. But it stays empty. Why does it stay empty?
Right. And there is a grassroots, you know, movement that's happening, and that's really where my campaign comes from. And partnering with these grassroots movements, because that's where the change happens. When you know, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. When my first interaction really with Mayor McCarthy and the city of Schenectady was when our road in front of our house hadn't been paved, and it was taking the beating from 18 and 20 wheelers that were going by like 20-30 times a day because they were delivering salt down the street to Kingsway packaging company, and it was literally shaking our homes. So it was a grassroots effort where we put lawn signs in everybody's lawn all the way up and down the road. We went and raised some cane at the city council meetings, and when you stand up and you make your voice heard and you let people know what the issues are and you get enough people to do it, people respond. For a politician, 20-30 people calling them, harassing them about an issue, that gets them their attention, and it causes them to do some kind of action. So we got to continue with the grassroots efforts.
Well, the fact is that you lived all what people suffer and recovered from. You're not somebody that doesn't have those life experiences, being on both sides of of your life. You said you did the food stamps and all that.
Sure.
We all have trying to get ourselves better, and you realize, hey, how come I make $1 more, but I can't get Medicaid, but I'm $1 less from getting food stamps. It's good because you know the issues locally, and that's why we wanted to interview you.
Well, and I appreciate it, John.
Hey,
Thank you so much.
very
I really
much.
appreciate the opportunity to chat with you guys.
Great,
The
yeah.
support.
What do you do? Hit him over the head with the umbrella?
He's shooting poking. There's more
Oh,
damage.
man.
Oh.
Hello, everybody. Hello,
Hello,
Chuck.
Chuck.
How you feel about the debate?
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Went pretty well.
Yeah, it's very good tonight.
Thank you. It was feisty.
Yeah. Appreciate
Nice
it.
to
Nice
see
seeing you again.
Background check.
Thank you very much. Tom, my pleasure. I know that's your dad.
We headed the.
We got along very well. It was great. Yeah. He's still around.
Oh, he knows his father.
Very fine man and a good man.
No, I haven't actually thought of it.
That's his car.
That's his car. Okay, yeah. We're following him around like a bunch of little girls follow a rock star.
Exactly. Hey, I got Trump, man. You got him. Come on, that's like an extra 50 points.
Sure. Stay under the speed limit. Don't get a speeding ticket, Chuck.
That's Charger?
Uh,
That thing's bulletproof. You can tell that thing.
yeah, that'll end well. That's a good line. Don't get a speeding ticket, Chuck. Followed by the security. Oh, look through this viewfinder. Isn't that a great view?
Holy cow, yeah.
It's kind of nice. Cool. Follow the yellow brick road.
So you got